welcome back to Indian Racing League. This is Division 1 of the league, and we are this time around in Austria. That's the race we will be having today with this Division 1 drivers with their F1 cars. And this is your host and commentator. You can beat me, and joining me in the comms box as always is Shah 24 or Rahul Shah, as you might know him. Shah, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Malav. Hello, everyone watching the stream. Austria is going to be one interesting race because it's a shorter track, so there are chances we might see a lot of racing, and also the weather here is always very different. Like it can rain in the quali, or we could have like a dry quali or whatever, but it'll be fun.
Yeah, this is one of those tracks where weather usually is a factor. Although, as far as I know, it was a dry race last time around, and last evening was it, or was it?
It was
What
all
was?
dry for us.
Yeah, it was a dry race as well as dry qualifying in the Division 2 yesterday, where Azun won from Mayank, who. Oh, right, it was Azun Quick Killer and Mayank who finished on the podium. But let's
Yes.
see if there is any weather hitting the Division 1 drivers, and let's see how they go across this track. I'll just quickly share the link for the stream on the channel before I forget to do that. And how was your race yesterday, Shah? Where did you start? Where did you finish? What kind of battles did you have? Or is it too soon to ask?
No, I started P11 and I finished P10, but I have an unfair 10-second penalty, which I
Ooh.
think will come and play, and I might jump up a few positions. But overall, I think I could do much better. I wasn't quite happy with my pace. Like I was happy on softs, I had good pace, and then eventually when I went on to mediums, I pit on lap 14, and by the end of the race, my tire wear was almost 80%. So I think anything above 80-85% could get you a puncture. So that was one thing I was worried. And yeah, I didn't have a lot of pace, like people were overtaking me. So that's one thing I need to work on. Softs are always great for me, but the mediums, I think I need to work on my pace.
Right. So what you're saying, Shah, is soft to medium possible on this track? Because I'm sure there will be some drivers who will be probably trying that strategy.
Softs to medium is possible, but eventually if they pit around the same time I pit, say lap 14 or 15, but if
Mm-hmm.
they pit any earlier from that, then I think it'll be much difficult for them to keep on going on those mediums. Because then I started losing grip on say lap 30. Like I could feel it. I was losing a lot of traction here and there. So that thing is gonna be difficult if they say if there's a safety car in play and they pit on lap 10 for mediums, then it's quite difficult to run on those same tires.
Right, and I'm sure the safety car helped to extend that soft terrain as well, as we are reading up. So the drivers are already 19 players here today, so almost a full lobby, which is always good to see. And I think Sonic Hawk is reserving with us tonight. He started the season in the Alfa Romeo car, but has since moved to reserve role and is reserving for the Alpha Tauri car tonight. But let's talk about the previous race, Shah. Belgium, what a race that was, and something which we don't really see often in terms of number of finishers. Just 10 finishers in that race. We
Yeah.
had the podium, which was Ashwin, who made a last lap overtake on Serial Killer to take the win. And Serial Killer, starting from P20 or P17, was it, finished on the podium with a P2. Very, very impressive drive from him. And VFix in the Ferrari was the last man on the podium. And that probably helped him as well because of Caesar's DNF. He has now a 15-point gap, and that is the gap he would be hoping to further reduce in this race. But how did you like the Belgium race, Shah?
I thoroughly enjoyed the race. The way the race came about, like it started raining and then it dried off, and the way people worked on their strategies, pitting a bit early, going on the dry compound tires, all that made a lot of fun for us to watch. So I'm hoping we have an interesting race here as well that way.
Yeah, absolutely. The weather definitely played a part last time around in Belgium, and as you said, people
And
were
we
on
had a
different strategies.
new winner last time around. So I'm hoping we have a new winner this time around as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, a new winner, but the same car of that Williams. So 6 out of 6 is the record for Williams this season, and I don't know if any other constructor has probably won the first 6 races of the season ever in Indian Racing League. As far as that is concerned, we will have to check that. Probably next time around we will confirm that. But talking about stats, that was a very peculiar race for some reasons, because the last time Caesar DNF'd after starting a race was in Japan, and that was way back in December last year. And the last time he finished, or rather he scored points without finishing on the podium, was in November last year. And so you know that's something which we
That's quite some
usually,
record, yeah.
that is some record. So we have a laugh about how it's unfair that he's so fast, and he doesn't have much competition. But goes without saying, and nothing to all the credit to him for being so consistent, being so
It's
fast.
his massive consistency.
And yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And it's one thing to be fast, but it's one thing to be, and it's quite another to be fast lap after lap after lap, race after race after race, and in all the seasons he has competed in so far. So massive props to Caesar. We are seeing a few cars on the track right now, and a little bit closer to one another than they would like. So I think they would have to back off a little. Although you can also hope for some slipstream on this track, and that might not hurt you too much in the corners. So let's ride on board with Sonic Hawkshaw. And do you want to take us through this lap in the Alpha Tauri?
Taking turn one, he got a good exit. DRS open. I think he's getting a slipstream from the car ahead, so that's gonna help him. Braking right at turn two. He takes good apex. I think this slipstream is gonna help him massively with Phantom being ahead. That's a good turn. Should be going on the curbs. No, yeah. This was a good lap. Yeah, it was a 103.8.
Yeah, and that is a provisional pole for Sonic Hawk, but I'm sure we will see that lap time beaten as Shadow Sword puts a 105.8, and Big Booties behind him is going to start his outlap. That is probably the first race for Big Booties in Indian Racing League. He is in the Haas
Yes.
tonight. I'm not sure if he is a full-time driver,
I
but
see
that
two
is.
drivers on Inters. I see Nishan and Vifix on Inters, but they haven't come out on the
Oh
pits yet.
yeah, let me just quickly check that. Although it doesn't say inters for me, but either way, talking about intermediate style, we have to talk about PSI Legends, who has retired from the session. I don't know where that was, but that's something we missed. And
Did he
PSI,
have a collie ban? PSI Legend?
no, it was Serial Killer, and there's one more driver who has a Caliban. I will check the stewards reports quickly for that. But Sid Venkatesh puts it on provisional pole for now, with Racing UPT behind, or Racing Gupta rather. Ashwin is in P3, and he is 2.5 tenths slower than VFX. So is Ashwin going for another run here? He's not right now. But just to finish that thought, it was PSI Legends who was leading the race under the safety car and could not lead it anymore after the first corner, because he stayed out on inters on a dry track, and while he still got points because of that, but that was a sight to see, as Karnav has returned as he did last time around. Very impressive result from Karnav. He finished P5, so very good race from Ferrari that was. And PSI did have a Caliban. Sorry, Shah, that
Right.
was something which I missed. So PSI and Serial Killer have a Caliban, although I don't see Serial Killer here
Check out
right
the name
now.
on the grid.
Is there another Alpha Tauri on the grid apart from Sonic Hawk? I don't think so. So for now, it's Racing Gupta on pole. What about other guys? I can
Sid
see
Venkatesh being from Div 2 is put a really good time.
he
103.4
has,
is really competitive.
and we are following Manan right now in the Renault, and he's not put a time in yet, but I'm sure he would but he is on 2 lap old tire, so I think that's his second run so far. And this turning out to be a good competitive session so far. Caesar finally on his out lap, so he will be putting in a lap time, and let's ride on board with him, because while Caesar doesn't have any weak tracks, but from what I understand, Austria is one of his fastest strong track, as his teammate Ashwin Lakhwani goes on provisional pole for now. But let's follow Caesar and see what kind of lines he takes. He is a little out of shape into turn 1. He will get slipstream from his teammate. I think that is ahead. Is that his teammate? Yeah, that's definitely it. So there is no games here, and Ashwin giving a good tow to Caesar as he brakes for turn 3 now on the exit of that corner. That's what the night exit, kept that in third gear and approaching turn 4, which is a very tricky zone, braking zone in my opinion. Shah as he puts it in the third and then short shifts to fourth. This is turning out to be a good lap so far. We don't have the sector times right now on our screen, but let's enable that and let's follow him for the rest of the lap. And this seems like a banker lap. Shah, he is, while he's going purple, but he's almost losing the car at the exit of that section. But this would be a good lap, but I'm sure he has more pace than this. This is kind of banker lap from Caesar as he uses all of the track on the exit of the final corner. Through he comes, and that's a 103.7 or a 103.174. So we are getting closer, Shah, to that 102 mark, and I am pretty positive we will see that beaten.
And Austria, the track evolution is insane. The way times will go up in the last run. I bet our drivers are like 102.5s maybe at this pace.
Right, track evolution is definitely a thing in Austria. I'm following Arjun Arun Shah, who is yet to put in a lap, but I think he's on a hot lap right now, as we have a comment from PR Oliver. Shah, you might, I'm not sure if you recognize him. He's one of the drivers in the SFR League. Hello, Pro Oliver, thank you for joining in. And let's see what Arjun Arun Shah is doing right now. It's 2 corners to go, and I absolutely love the penultimate corner. Shah, I don't know what's your favorite corner on the track. Not a lot to choose from since there are only 10 corners. He goes wide on the last turn, and let's see what this lap puts him. It puts him P7 with a 103.8. And Shah, this being a very short track, we will see very small margins on the lap time here, as Arjun S. Ravi has gone P6 and Nishan, that's a good lap. So the Division 2 reserves here tonight, as we have, hello Mayank, how are you doing? Hope you're enjoying your podium from last night. And wow, what a stint that was, Shah. 28 laps on medium tires on this track. The total length of the race is 36 laps, but imagine 28 of those laps on medium tires, and I think he had about 90% tire wear.
Mayank went on hards, I believe.
No, Mayank was definitely on the mediums. He was not on the hards. So that was quite a stint which he put. Let's see what Racing Gupta does. He's on a cracker of a lap here. He goes P2 with a 103.2, and he's getting closer, Shah. So Caesar and Racing Gupta are on the front row right now, and we know what happened last time they were together on the same piece of the track. But enough about that. What I was talking about, Shah. Oh yeah, what happened to VFX? He has not put in a lap time so far. He's on a lap right now in the Ferrari, and he has left it pretty late, while he still has enough time to go for another run. But that's pretty late from VFX to put on a lap. Let's see what does on the final. That's really nicely done through the final corner, and he goes P1.
Wow.
He goes P1, and it is 7 thousandths faster than Caesar's time. So it's provisional pole for VFX. But Shah, what I was trying to say is the likes of Sid Venkatesh and Nishan, the Division 2 reserves are doing really well right now, at least in the first part of qualifying, where they are ahead of a lot of Division 1 drivers here. So that is good showing from the Division 2 drivers. Is Ashwin on a lap right now? He absolutely is, and he has put a purple second sector. Let's see what Ashwin does in the final 2 corners of the lap in that Williams car. He gave it to his teammate. Let's see if he can put it on the front row, or maybe on the provisional pole for now. Across the finish line goes Ashwin, and that's P3 for him with a 103.1. So the times are getting closer, as we would expect on this track, and with 7 minutes to go, Shah. I really can't bet on a single driver here to get that pole position. It
Like the
could be
margin
anyone.
is really close, yes.
Yeah, it could be anyone of the top three or maybe even four here. Let's not discount Racing Gupta from this conversation. And I think he has the capability to really hook up a lap and go on pole.
I say something went wrong with Arjun Arun Shah as well, because he's also capable of being in the top three for sure during his lap. So I guess he would also be somewhere up. I think the Racing Point and the Williams are the ones fighting it out as teams.
Yeah, they are definitely fighting it out, and it was a really unfortunate last lap for the Racing Points in Belgium last time around. Both of them retiring on the last lap due to collisions, and it was a very topsy-turvy race for that team because they were running in really good positions. Probably made a mistake with the pit stop strategy under the safety car, but then got into good positions again. But again, losing out on positions after the safety car restart. Here we go. We
Ashwin
fixed us.
starting another. Kana left the session.
Kanam has left the session. I hope he can rejoin back before we end the qualifying session. Vicky is on a lap right now. Where does he go? He goes P7. And meanwhile, Nishan is back into the pits. What's Sid Venkatesh doing? Is Caesar on a lap right now?
Ashwin is on a lap.
So he's going
So
for
is-
2 laps in
so
a
is
row,
Caesar.
is he? Yeah, so the both Williams on a hot lap right now, and so that's definitely something which Ashwin has thought about, and that's deliberate that he wants to go on 2 hot laps on the same set of tires. Caesar has a driver ahead of him in a Mercedes, and I'm not sure if they are on a hot lap. We'll have to wait and see. Caesar probably feeling the dirty effects of that Mercedes in front, but let's see what he does. That's so close to invalidating, but that is the margins we are playing at. In Division 1, Caesar almost invalidates again across the line. Is that P1? And that's by some
Wow.
margin. So 102.8 Shah.
And so does
And
Ashwin improve.
Ashwin improves as well. So that's a Williams front row lockout as we stand. And behind has Vicky has gone faster. So a lot of drivers, Shah, are trying that
improving.
second lap. They're trying that second lap on the same set of tires, and they're finding the time. So maybe that's a strategy which they want to but maybe the other drivers want to copy.
Since it's a short track, the tires don't degrade as much as it does on the normal tracks, like the other tracks which are much longer. So the drivers can also, and also the fuel load you need to run on these laps is not much. So going for 2 laps, I think, is the go-to strategy as of now. We saw both the William cars do it. I think also so did Racing Gupta.
Racing Gupta certainly did, and he is on a fast lap right now. I'm not sure if Caesar actually did it. I think Caesar just did the one hot lap on the same set of tires, but Ashwin definitely did too. Both the Williams back into the pits, but we are following Racing Gupta right now as he seems to be on a hot lap. What's VFix doing? He's on hot lap as well, but Racing Gupta will finish his lap first. So let's stick with the Racing Point driver. Lots of racing in his lane, as we have often observed. He goes through that very tricky section, in my opinion. That's probably the trickiest corner on the track of all the corners, which are relatively easier. He's up by almost a tenth. So as it stands, he might just snatch. P3 has gone wide and he has eliminated. And VFX meanwhile behind. Let's see how he is doing in the Ferrari. He has kept it clean through the corner, misses the apex by just a bit. You want to hit that curve. Let's see what VFX does. He stays P3. He has improved his time for sure, but he stays P3 for now, and he still will have one more go. So let's see who else is on a lap right now. Is Ishan doing another run as other drivers? No, he's not. Is Google on a lap? Probably. Let's see.
No. Uh, I guess we have Big Booty 97 on a lap, but
Yeah.
he's doing what? It shows me he's on 4 laps old softs.
Big booties, no. Big booties for me in the Haas is on. It shows 0 laps for me, so
I
I'm
think
not sure if that's a
something's wrong with
glitch.
mine.
But I'm following Google right now, and I think this definitely seems like a hot lap right now. So let's follow with him, and then we'll switch to Big Booties, who is behind Google on the tracks. So big Google will finish his lap first in the Red Bull, and let's see where this puts him. The game, according to the game, he did put a second sector purple, and he across the finish line he goes. There's a Renault behind him, probably starting a lap. Google goes P14 for now, and is that Ishan who has joined the lap, or was it Manan? I think definitely Ishan. So Ishan, not sure what he's up to because it says 3 laps on his tires. So not entirely sure. Is he practicing for a race run right now? Bit late in the quali to do that.
Yeah.
But either ways, let's see how his pace. But I think let's follow Arjun here because Arjun is on a lap, and you did mention that he made a mistake in one of the earlier parts of the qualifying. Is up by 2/10 on his second sector time. So this, as it stands, could put him near Sid Venkatesh or Vicky if he maintains his advantage going into the third sector. Across the finish line comes Arjun, and that is exactly between the two drivers I was talking about. He has gone P6, and he might just continue for one more lap here. If he has the pace, so if he has the fuel in his car. So let's see if that works out. Sid Venkatesh meanwhile is not improving. What is Nishan? Is on an outlap in the Red Bull, reserving for the Red Bull team. And where is it? I think everyone is on a. I think Ashwin has started his hot lap.
Haven't we been seeing Tanish on the top 5 list during the quali?
We have. He has been pretty fast with his qualifying pace so far in the season. He still has one more run to go, and I think he's already on a lap. So let's see what he does. Following Ashwin right now in the Williams, and I'm not sure if that was indeed an improvement on the timesheet, but we'll see when he crosses the second sector split behind Caesar. Vfx still on the outlaps, and will start their final laps pretty soon. And as it stands, Shah, I think if Ashwin is down on second sector, so this might not be a good lap, but he can probably back out of it, recharge his battery. That's probably what he's doing, and he has just about enough time, but he's coming back into the pits. So Ashwin will not start any further than P2 in this race, and Vfix meanwhile is not improving on his first sector. So this is not looking good for either of them, as Vfix would want that pole position, not just because it's a good starting position, but it's also a one extra point in the championship, Shah. So every point does matter in this championship. And what is that message from Sahir? I don't understand that. He has distracted that. Here we go. What's Racing Gupta doing? Racing Gupta has finished. He does finish in P4.
He does improve his time, but overall he
not his position. VFX is on a lap. He was improving by a bit in the second sector, but not sure if this is enough to challenge the championship leader Caesar. He has invalidated his lap. Caesar does not need to put a lap time now, but he will still try to go faster through the last corner. Does Caesar go? Does he improve? He does. Oh my god, what is this guy? He improved by almost 600s there, I think. And that is pole position for Caesar. Let's not count out Arjun, who is not.
Arjun Arun Shah retired in the pits.
Yeah, Arjun did come back into the pits and is retired, and so has Tanishq. So that's a bit of a surprise, I think. Yeah, we have the grid in front of us, and it's a little bit of a surprise seeing Arjun and Tanishq qualifying P7 and P9, but I'm sure they have a lot of paces. Caesar is saying that his thumb slipped in the double left-handers, which is why his lap time is so slow, Shah.
It is clearly slow. 1027 is clearly
it's very slow, Caesar, and
yeah.
Let's see if we can give Caesar a qualifying ban for that thumb slip. But that's.
I think we've had similar incidents yesterday. One of the drivers, his I think brake pedals slipped.
Oh, yeah.
I think,
that was Saurabh Nayak, who could not brake on time because of some hardware malfunction, and which did, have a lot of incidents and lap 1 crashes and penalties mainly being dished out. But here we go. That is the grid in front of us, Caesar and Ashwin. So it is a front row lockout for the Williams. I think, is that the first of the season? I think it is. But VFX in P3 just behind them, and Racing Gupta, so very fast drivers on the first two rows of the grid. Vicky and Arjun Arunshah on the third row with Sid Venkatesh and Nishan, the Division 2 reserves on the fourth row with Tanishq, Arjun S. Ravi, Ishan, Sonic Hawk, Phantom and Google. In the P14 we will have to wait until the formation lap to go through the rest of the grid, but as it stands, Shah, it is advantage Williams.
Yeah, Williams have been doing a great job, and Caesar has this penalty in the race. So and everybody being as quick as they are, and the grid being so tight. So in the race, I think if this remains like people, if they remain like really close, then the penalty would be a disadvantage to Caesar.
Yeah, he does have a 5-second penalty, and despite other drivers' best efforts, it is not applied in qualifying, so it is applied in the race, the 5-second penalty. So Caesar does have that handicap, but let's see if other people are able to take advantage of that. We are waiting for the drivers to make their final decisions in terms of strategy, especially those outside of top 10, because let's remember they will have the tire choice and they can start on whatever tires they want. But I will not be surprised to see at least a couple of them on the soft tire shot despite starting outside of top 10. Let's have a look as the formation lap is underway, and there we go. Phantom, Manan and PSI Legends have started on the soft tires. Kanav again, what is this obsession with his hard tires? I think that is the second or the third time I'm seeing Kanav start on a set of hards.
He's the master of alternate strategy.
He is the master of the alternate strategy. This is plan C, as Ferrari fans would say, and he himself is a such proclaimed Ferrari fan. And this is going to be interesting. Tire strategies, especially in the bottom 10, because we see Ishan and Sonic Hawk on mediums and Phantom behind on softs. And Shah, if you have raced with Phantom, I'm sure you would know that he is one of the drivers in the division and in the league so far who gets really good starts off the line, and he will have that advantage grip of those softer tires, so expect him to jump a position or two if he keeps it clean going into the first corner.
So we got PSI Legends starting on softs.
PSI Legends so again, for once starting on the dry compound and not on the wet compound. But yeah, you are saying something, Shah.
So I think people start on the softs being behind, like say from position 11 to 19. I think the major reason being if there's an early safety car and if you want to pit, then probably pitting on hards, and then if you're starting on mediums, then it's already a disadvantage if there's an early safety cars, because in the start then you tend to lose a lot of positions during your start because you're on a much slow compound than softs, so your race starts are also affected that way.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And if there's a safety car around lap 5 or 6, expect some of the soft runners to try to go on those hard tires and go to the end of the race. If they have watched the Division 2 race from last night, they would know that I think it was something similar, 28-29 laps which Arjun did on those hard tires and won the race. So that is also a possibility, but the grid has lined up now and it should be any minute now, barring any lobby glitches, that we should have the 5 lights come on the screen. Here we go. I think it's going to happen, Shah. So yes, let's wait and watch. That's the second, third, 4 lights, 5 lights. Lights out and underway. It's a good start from Caesar. So is Ashwin, but behind it's a McLaren of Vicky getting a good start. He might challenge Ashwin. Oh no, he does not. It was in fact VFX has taken P2 from Ashwin, and further behind it's Racing Gupta and Ashwin going side by side, and let's see, Ashwin defends the inside. Racing Gupta will not have much to go, and behind his teammate in Arjun Arunshah is trying to make a move on Vicky, and Arjun will have that move made. I think going into turn 4 he will have the inside. Let's follow these two drivers and see how it happens. Arjun Arunshah down the inside. We'll have to have a look at that as Arjun is through, and who has wing damage behind. Let's have a look. Is a Ferrari going pretty slow there? Is that Kanav with wing damage? He is. It's Kanav, and is he losing half a wing there? Is Kanav? Oh, yeah, someone runs into the back of him, and Kanav will definitely have to pit. So that hard tires will definitely be changed. He's coming back into the pits. It's kind of, that is a real shame for him. And what's happening behind? Oh, that's the Dobby glitch. I got excited for a moment, but here we go. Is PSI on a move? PSI Legends. He started
My lobby
P19
is
Shah.
pretty glitched, I think. No, so it says Arjun Arun Shah is P1. Now it says SFR.
No,
So my
that's
lobby is
okay.
pretty
But I see
glitched.
PSI Legends who started P19 is running P12 right now. So that's 7 positions gained. Tanishk is into the pits, and what a start it has been from PSI Legends. Is what's happening behind. Arjun S. Ravi and Sonic Hawk are battling, and Arjun S. Ravi overtakes his former teammate. Both of them were teammates in the Alfa Romeo car, and Arjun is now on the back of Nishan, who is reserving for the Red Bull team tonight. And let's see how this battle goes. Following Arjun S. Ravi right now in the Alfa Romeo, already into the points, and let's see if he's able to make any headway there, as Nishan and Sid Venkatesh get pretty close, and Nishan is going to make a move on Sid Venkatesh. Here we go, it's going to happen, and Nishan is through. What's happening behind, as Arjun lost some time to Racing Gupta there, and Vicky.
I think Vifix is up to a move on Caesar. No, because with
That's
the
6 tenths,
DRS.
but this is Vicky going for a move, and he has gone past. So he right now, as things stands, Vicky is splitting the racing points. And talking about racing points, the other racing point, Racing Gupta, is on a charge right now, while the gap up front is just 4 tenths and 5 tenths, but Racing Gupta is absolutely on the back of Arjun right now, sorry, Ashwin right now. And if you remember, Shah, these two had a battle in Hungary last season, sorry, a few races back, if I'm not wrong, this season. And I'm absolutely butchering the commentary here tonight, but what a battle that was, with Ashwin just about keeping P2 in that race. But Racing Gupta definitely looks up for it this time around, as Nishan right now is on the back of Arjun Arun Shah. So Nishan really making some moves after overtaking Sid Venkatesh. Nishan is just 5 tenths behind Arjun right now, and I don't think that's a move going to happen this time around, because Arjun has DRS from the car in front.
But I'm
But
hoping
let's see.
Racing Gupta is 4 tenths now. He was around 3 tenths before the corner.
He is, and he might not be able to go for a move this time. Let's see if he goes for a late move. He stays behind for now, and that's probably the sensible thing to do. But Ashwin desperately needs DRS here, Shah. He has to get within that 1 second gap of VFix and Caesar, who are still battling, but Caesar keeps ahead for now. And if VFix is smart here,
He would just save all his
yeah, he'll
DRS.
just stay behind. He doesn't need to make the move, and as far as he stays behind and saves his tires as well as fuel as well as ERS, as Racing Gupta goes wide there, that would definitely be a warning for him.
But the
And
pack is so close now. Like there's so many overtakes brewing up. Like, people
oh,
are 3 tenths.
that is Arjun S. Ravi. Sorry, Shah. That's Arjun S. Ravi. Just as I switched to him, I don't think that qualifies as a commentator's curse, but Arjun S. Ravi on the final corner, losing the car out of that corner, and that is completely
He put
ruined
double
his
yellows.
race. I'm not sure why we have yellows, but for now that is his race.
Arjun Arun Shah fell back to P11.
I probably made a mistake somewhere, and he is going to lose another position to Ishan, who is in P11. So Ishan losing out places as well at the start of the race. As you can see, it's a real train right now behind Sid Venkatesh, who is leading from PSI Legends, and these two will have to battle it out, because Sid Venkatesh is just about in DRS of Nishan. Let's see if that really works out, but Nishan making really lot of places here. He's already up into P6 with just 2 places, but a lot of action and a lot of overtaking, as the gap up front, Shah, is now more than a second. So I'm not sure if VFix made a mistake somewhere, but he has lost touch of Caesar, as here is PSI
I think
Legends.
Vifix is just saving on his ERS, because Vifix has got like double the ERS what Caesar has got right now.
Yeah, and as we say that, Shah, Racing Gupta has overtaken
move on
Ashwin
Ashwin.
Lakhwani, and he is into P3. So Let's see how the rest of the race progresses. Ashwin is now into DRS, and VFX is back in DRS of Caesar. So lots of yo-yo effect and lots of action coming on, as Nishan is now on the back of Vicky, and all the bad luck he had yesterday. Nishan is, he has a point to prove here, it seems, and he is a genuine contender right now for a very very good point.
A lot of bad luck there for Nishan.
Yeah, and we are following this battle, and the Red Bull right now seems absolutely hooked up to get a move on Vicky. Let's see if he does that into turn 1, or does he wait into the more traditional overtaking zone.
Nishan's ERS is 95%.
Yeah, and he's using most of it right now to try to get close. I don't think he will go for a move right now, but it's Nishan we're talking about. He has surprises before, and this time he uses that ERS, and I think he will just sail past Vicky here. Vicky is not making it easy for him. He will defend the inside, and let's see how the rest of the lap develops. For now, Nishan has to stay behind. He will have one more opportunity into turn 4, and he has a lot of ERS to play with. This is just
giving PSI Legends a lot of opportunity, because he's also catching up to the party right now.
PSI has caught up to the both of them, so Nishan in a McLaren sandwich right now. As what's happening behind, it's Sid Venkatesh and Ishan who are battling. Ishan has gone past Sid Venkatesh, who is now going to battle Phantom, or rather Sonic Hawk.
It's just a train behind all these guys. They're so close to each other.
Absolutely, and once the car ahead of you gets DRS, it is all the more difficult to get any sort of overtaking done. As what's happening with Nishan, this is round 2, and let's see if this time Nishan can get the move done, or will PSI try to sneak an opportunity. There's a yellow flag, it's a Haas. Is that Big Booty Shah? If you can check for us, or is it Shadow Sword? But I see a Haas going very slowly. Vicky gets a 3-second because of that, but it's PSI Legends who is on the move, and he will be given just about enough space for Shah's. PSI Legends is through, so but Nishan.
So okay, Shadow Sword just came into the pits. He is on mediums and he's pitting right now, so I think it was.
Yeah, it was him probably who lost it at the exit of that turn, and PSI Legends making another move on Vicky right now. He's gone deep into that corner, but the move is made, and PSI Legends basically overtook 2 cars in a span of 2 corners here. So Nishan has to stick behind McLaren. He was trying to overtake one, but got overtaken by another McLaren, and the gap up front Shah is 1.7 now. So that's Caesar just stretching it out and dialing it into the circuit, and it won't be a surprise if it goes further up, as the Alfa Romeo of, was it Phantom? Yeah, it was Phantom who went wide there, and this time Nishan won't have it easy, because Vicky will have DRS
from his teammate.
That's what's happening behind, it's the battle of the Arjun Arun Shah and Sonic Hawk, and Sonic Hawk will have, I think both of them have ERS, but Sonic Hawk is in front. That's a little bit of a wheel banging, but it is Sonic Hawk who's trying to make that move done. For now he has to stay behind, but he will have another opportunity into turn 4. Arjun Arun Shah is defending on the inside Shah, and it has gotten a little overcast here, so
yeah,
I'm not sure if anything is going to happen. But bad news for Nishan is he has lost another place to Phantom, who was behind him. So Nishan, instead of making moves, is losing positions, and let's see if he is going to be under threat from Ishan from the.
I don't know, is something wrong, because it still says Nishan has got a lot of ERS on him. So
yeah,
is he
it does
using
for
it
me
enough? Because Phantom is already running low on ERS. I could see the red light flashing.
Oh, who's that?
Was that an Alfa Romeo?
There was a red car, and
was that Karnav or an Alfa Romeo?
I'm not sure if it was Karnav, but for now everything is fine and dandy. And Sonic Hawk, for one more time, is trying to get past Arjun Arun Shah. I'm not sure if it will happen on this lap. He will have to stay behind, and the gap up front between Ashwin and Racing Gupta is now just 5 tenths, and I think this is very sensible racing from the both of them. They have not really battled each other so as to cost time, and I think now is the time of the race where they would
Caesar
be.
has pulled out 3.2 seconds.
And just as you say that, Racing
I
Gupta
won't be
has.
surprised if he pulls out 5 seconds and all that penalty he's got, it will be of no use then.
Yeah, absolutely, that is definitely a possibility as it's getting darker here, Shah, and Ziek Jangir, no, it is not realistic car performance, it is equal car performance. You can see that Williams is leading the race and another Williams is in P4 right now battling P3, so it is definitely not realistic
We got equal
performance.
car
We
performance.
have equal
Everybody's
car
got equal
performance this
power.
time around
Yeah.
as Sid Venkatesh and Arjun are battling, and I think
Did said Venkatesh lose a lot of places?
yeah, he lost two places there. I'm not sure if he made a mistake, but he has lost a place to Arjun Arun Shah as well as Sonic Hawk. There's a gap up front. Caesar, I don't think the 5 second penalty will matter if there's unless there's a safety car. But sector 3 yellow flag, what's happening? I don't think it's anything is happening because we are in sector 3 right now.
Austria,
And
sector 3.
yeah, I'm not sure why there were yellows.
PSI initially in the stream, he did mention that it's going to get cloudy later in the race. Because he had the collie band, so he was, I think, watching the stream with us. So he did mention it would get cloudy, but I don't know if it's going to rain.
Yeah, we will have to wait and see as we see one of the first pit stops of the normal soft runners. It's Arjun Arun Shah is pitting. I'm not sure what for. Let's have a look. We have really ignored the tires so far. Arjun is on a set of hard tires and he will be hoping to go to the end of the race. What's happening with Ashwin meanwhile? He is now putting in the pressure. I think this is the time of the race where if he thinks he's faster, I don't think he will hesitate to make a move because this is almost pit stop time right now and he would be hoping to get past Racing Gupta who has a time penalty, so his race is compromised, but he doesn't want to cost himself time by staying behind Racing Gupta here. Let's see if either of them blinks. As of now, none of them do, and they are coming to probably lap a Haskar, that's Shadow Sword in P19 right now. And let's see if there are any other battles. Ishan is on
Ishan is almost on the gearbox of Nishan. But
is.
it's a DRS train again. So
It is a DRS channel. Let's not forget Ishan is on a set of mediums. So if he can hang around with these drivers and then use the clean air to his advantage on an auto strategy, but is he going to hang around? Is he going to go to move? Here is Ishan dying down the inside of Nishan, and this is really close, but Nishan stays ahead, but the Renault will come back. Will he come back? No, he won't. But what's happening with Vicky right now? Vicky is... And Ashwin meanwhile has made a move. And Ashwin and Racing Gupta are fighting, but I think Ashwin will just about have the position. So just as we were discussing Shah, Ashwin is not waiting around anymore and he has to get a move on because he can see Caesar's gap up front, which is more than 4 seconds, and he is already outside that 5 second window. Racing Gupta and Ashwin both stay out, so I think both of them have decided to probably go. Oh, that is really bad for Phantom, and he will lose positions now because Vicky was probably going into the pits, which made Phantom lose his line, and he probably is going to lose a position or two here on the main straight. Let's see, following Ishan right now, who is on the back of the Red Bull, who is on the back of Phantom, and let's see if Nishan is going for a move. There's a yellow flag somewhere. There's a Haas again, and that's Ishan. What a dive that was, and I think he has made it stick. He will have the inside for the next turn. Both of them have... Oh, that was probably unnecessary. they touch Martin, and that is something which is really something which you don't want to see.
Ishan has picked up wing damage. Yes, he's lost his
The Renault has picked up wing damage. There's a yellow flag in sector 2 that is for Nishan, I think, but VFX and Caesar both into the pits at the same time. Ashwin will be the race leader, and Shah, I'm not sure if you noticed, but in the last lap or so, Ashwin really caught up to VFX. So he will go for one more lap. Let's see where Caesar and
Caesar is fit for
mediums, and
mediums.
West Prefix right now he's also pit for a set of medium tires. And so Caesar is, where is he? He is behind Sonic Hawk right now, and this is crucial, Shah. This overtake on the next lap, on the next corner, is crucial because he has to get past Sonic Hawk. He does not want his dirty air.
He
Sonic
already
Hawk does
missed.
not make it difficult for him, and Caesar is through. He will have dirty air for
Sonic Hawk was
throughout the
on
day.
14 laps old mediums. I think there was nothing he could do because then you eventually start losing a lot of grip, and his mediums are fresh out of the blankets. So that was easy for the Caesar to make
Yeah,
a
that
move.
was an easy move for him. And talking about his teammate, Ashwin is now into the pits. So is Racing Gupta, and so is PSI Legends coming into the pits. No, he's going out for one more lap. But Caesar now has clean air for the rest of the stint, and VFix meanwhile has not caught up to Sonic Hawk yet. So this is going to be easy for him because I don't think he will lose much time behind any cars, as Nishan has pitted as well. And where is Ashwin coming out? This is going to be crucial here. Is Ashwin going to jump VFX? He is. Ashwin
Yes,
has
it's,
jumped VFX,
oh.
and Ashwin staying out for one more lap. I'm not sure if VFX got held up. I don't think he did. Was it a slow pit stop, or was
So
he slow to
Racing
get
Gupta
away?
also jumped Vifix.
Okay, so I'm sure then he would have got held up somewhere, or maybe had just a bad in lap or an out lap. But Ashwin was getting very close to VFX when he was going on for one more lap. So not entirely sure what happened there, but VFX now has to stay calm, and he has Racing Gupta in front of him with one left fresher tires. But VFX can make this work because Racing Gupta does not have DRS on the car up ahead, which is Ashwin Lakhwani. So let's see if that happens further
I think
behind
if
someone
this
we have
this
not talked
remains
about.
as it is, this remains as it is. Caesar is already 5 seconds clear.
He is already 5 seconds clear, but let's see if Ashwin can catch him up. But what's happening behind is that Ishan and Tanishq are fighting for P12 right now. That's the last point ping position, as PSI Legends has finally pit and riding on board with the Renault of Ishan, who after his wing damage is on a set of hard tires, and this time he's going to make that move. Is he? No, he's not going to make that move, so he will stay behind for now. Let's quickly check if VFix has damage here. No, he does not. Thieves. Uh, it is puzzling. I don't quite understand why his outlap was
Vifix.
slow, or VFix is on the move right now, and Racing Gupta will lose that position to the Ferrari, and that is probably smart decision to not fight it too much, as further behind PSI Legends has gotten past Google. So this is a good race from PSI Legends for sure. He still has, he will gain one more position because Sonic Hawk is yet to pit, and let's see how the rest of the race. So McLaren is running really good right now with P6 and P7, which will turn to P5 and P6 once the pit stops are done. So here we go. Ishan again on the back of Tanishq, and Tanishq is having trouble through that corner once again for the second lap in running. Let's see. So it's Ishan practically pushing Tanishq
I think
across
on
that
this
corner.
track, undercut didn't really work out for Arjun because he was the first one to pit among the front runners. I wouldn't say first runners. I think around the top 10 guys, and then he's just gotten stuck behind all these. Oh,
Is
I
Tanishq
think one.
retired? Oh, Tanishq
Tanishq
has
crashed.
retired. Is this going to be a safety car? It is a
Yeah, there's a
VSC.
virtual safety car.
It is a VSC, and Caesar would have his heart in his mouth there. If there was a safety car, that would have been really difficult for him. But it is a virtual safety car, and let's see what Sonic Hawk does, because Sonic Hawk can probably come into the pits now, and I don't think he can take those. He's coming into the pits for sure. But
He's-
do you think he can take a pair of
I think
socks, a set of socks to the end of the race? It's a stretch, right?
it's quite tricky. I think he'll pit for hards. That's the only option.
That is the only option he has, and that will compromise his race. He would have liked to pit on a set of soft tires. Let's see if oh, Vicky has a drive-through, and Sonic Hawk.
He's pitting on softs.
He is
Wow.
picking on softs, and Vicky has a drive-through. That is a real shame because McLarens were running so good, and that has really compromised the race. Vicky has a drive through, and behind, Racing Gupta is not letting VFX breathe easy. He is within 5 tenths. Definitely has DRS on the next lap. And Sonic Hawk now, is he going for a move on Nishan? He's not just fresh out of the pits as Sonic Hawk. So that VSC helped him, but now he has a very daunting task ahead of him as he makes quick work of the Red Bull Sonic Hawk into P9. So it is a welcome race for him as far as this league is concerned. And Ishan meanwhile is trying to get a move done on Sid Venkatesh. While Ishan is on the hard tires, Sid Venkatesh on the mediums, both of them going to the end. So Ishan's hard tires will be slightly sore right now, but come the end of the race, they will definitely be the faster tire, as they are so much durable than any other tire on the track. Is what's happening with Racing Gupta and VFX. Racing has really closed up to VFX, and let's see if there's a move on the cards here, Shah. And look at the ERS usage. Look at the battery which Racing Gupta has. If you ride on board with him,
doing a great job on the ERS. I think they've all learned their lessons from the last few races.
Absolutely. And VFX, because of all this, he's not able to concentrate on Ashwin right now. He has to stay behind, and he has to stay in front of Racing Gupta, who has a 3-second time penalty. So it's not like Racing Gupta will have that position automatically, but this is basically hindering his race as the gap up front is 8.1 seconds, Shah. And Caesar just showing us how it's done, basically.
That's a great drive from Caesar. All he wishes right now is there's no safety car.
Absolutely, that is exactly what he's wishing for. As Ishan and Arjun and Shah fighting, there's a yellow flag somewhere. There's a car off. There's both cars off. And again for the second weekend in a row.
Of Sonic Hawk.
Oh, Sonic Hawk, that is a real shame because he was running so well in P9. What's happening with Vicky? He's pitting. I think that's
a sector 3 yellow flag. Is there a Renault? Yeah. Ishan fell back.
Yeah, Ishan was having a battle with someone, so all's happening here, and he will be caught by his teammate Manan, and Arjun is in the pits. Does Arjun? I think it was Ishan and Arjun who both had a collision, which is why he's in the pits. What's happening behind meanwhile, Racing Gupta has gotten within 3 tenths of VFX. This is really close here. And what's happening with Nishan and Google
Red Bulls fighting.
Yeah, so Red Bulls are fighting, and Google Dugar on a completely different strategy because he's on 20 laps old medium tires. He should be coming in pretty soon, I think, probably this lap, because 14 laps on lighter fuel is possible on those soft tires. And let's see how this works out for them. Vicky
gets another 3 seconds
to make matters worse.
Oh, there's a Merc which went off track. Sid Venkatesh
doing some lawn mowing here, and he's back on track, and he is going to lose another place to Sonic Hawk. Is Sid Venkatesh coming into the pits? He is, because of wing damage. But Ashwin has clawed back a couple of tenths to Caesar, but still nowhere enough the 5-second mark he needs. And Sid Venkatesh into the pits now. What's happening up front?
Racing Gupta is still keeping a lot of pressure on VFX, so this is clearly not helping VFX to catch up to Caesar or Ashwin.
It is not happening for VFX, and it is not happening for Ashwin as well. So while he has caught up by a couple of tenths, the gap is still at that 7.8, and it is going to be tough for him to catch up to Caesar unless Caesar makes a mistake there. So this is all fine and dandy, and Caesar cannot wait until the checkered flag because he does not want a safety car at this point in time and take what would be his 23rd win of Indian Racing League, which is absolutely, it just blows my mind because the second most wins is for Ashwin with 9 wins, and third most win is for VFX with 5. And when you run down the order, Shah, you will find a certain you can beat me with one very controversial win as well. So,
but I think you deserve that win.
Yeah, let's talk about that offline.
All that hard work you did that season, I think you got to have open. Being Caesar's teammate, I know there's a lot of pressure coming with that. It's not easy.
Yeah, it is not easy, but it it helps when someone like Caesar is your teammate to discuss strategies and stuff, and it was a help for me on that race as well. But 22 wins, Shah, and 33 podiums. That is just that's just mind-boggling. VFix has 33 podiums as well, but obviously a lot lesser wins. It's just 5 wins
These
to his
stats
name.
are insane. These stats are insane.
Absolutely. And Shah, I don't know if you know this, but Caesar has 1118 points so far in the
Wow.
league's history, and I don't think my total will be beyond 200 or 250. And so that says a lot. I mean, I'm nowhere comparing myself to him, but what I'm trying to say is that that's how consistent he has been every season, every race. And I thought I
And
will just try a different approach this time
also,
to.
Ashwin, with these tags, Ashwin has had a lot of bad luck since this season, the last season, and he's still the number second on the most wins. So that's a good job from his side as well.
Yeah, that I think that goes on to show how fast he is and how consistent he is when he doesn't have any bad luck. So that's something to just admire about that. And that's Kanav into P13 after overtaking Manan. So Kanav on those soft tires, Shah, could really be a threat in the final few laps of the race. Let's see
But he's
how
got a
his
lot
race.
of catching up to do.
He
With
has, but the next
if he
car
is to
up
get with
ahead
Big Booty
is
and
Big Booties,
Big
who is on 18 lap old hard tires. So expect Kanav to close up that gap quickly. What's happening further ahead? It's Arjun Esravi who has lost a position to Google Dougal, and Google Dougal can only look upwards from here because of the strategy which he is on right now. So Google definitely on course for points. So is Arjun Esravi. We'll have to look at what the penalty situation is. But Kanav could also get some points here if he keeps it clean for the next few laps and is able to
Has
get within.
Vivek caught up to Ashwin?
I
Because
mean,
now
he
it's
has by
1.7.
a tenth or two. The gap was 1.9 the last time I checked, but he has not really caught up that much. And Kanav, as you were saying, this is the Kanav we know. This is the Kanav I saw on the first race in Australia in season 2. Puts the fastest lap and is just having fun right now.
So Kana on my list it says he's on softs, but when I spectate him, oh no, he's still on softs. My bad.
And Arjun Arun Shah has retired in the pit lane, so not a good race for him. And he would be already looking to the next weekend. Shah, where do we race next week?
We race in Levy Czech, Manav. Now
Come
that you
on,
asked
you
me.
are a Division 2 driver. You are not a commentator. You're supposed to know this and sweat it out on time trial as well as with the drill master. But let's check and tell our viewers where is going to be the next race. As Racing Gupta, I have to really praise him for this performance. He has a 3 second time penalty. He knows he might not get the podium, but at the same time, he is keeping VFX absolutely honest here for the
Also, we're
entire
doing
second stint.
Silverstone.
We're doing Silverstone. Wow, what a track!
Yes. After that, we're doing the Netherlands. So that would be a fun race, and then we are ending the season in
In
France.
France, yeah, Paul Ricard circuit. So exciting 3 tracks to come. I know France is something which a lot of fans don't like, but I think it's a good racetrack for sim racing, Shah. That's the shout out to your YouTube channel. But what I was trying to say is, I think it's a good track for racing on the game. It might not be a great track. Oh, Racing Gupta gets another 3 second time penalty just as I was riding on board with him. So is PSI Legends? Let's have a look at penalties. So as at this rate, Shah, PSI Legends is just within striking distance of Racing Gupta, and he might get that P4. So that is really impressive. The gap up front, Shah, is 9 seconds now, and you can give Caesar two 5 second penalties. He will still probably.
Caesar has proved a lot this season. He started P20 and he still won the race. I think that was Spain, I believe.
Yeah, he started P19 in Spain, which was the last position on the grid, and he
Yeah.
won the race. He started P15 in Russia, if I'm not wrong. He won that race too. He has started P1 today and has no intentions of finishing anything lesser than P1 in this race as well. But it is going to be the first 1-2 of the season for Williams as they extend their advantage in the Constructors' Championship. So they are practically going to run away with it as far as this league is concerned and this division is concerned. But with 3 races to go, Caesar will gain 10 points on VFX. So he's basically a race win clear of VFX, who will be still P2 in the standings, but he really needs to pull up his socks and make some and have some really good race. As I'm watching the battle between Google and Sonic, and Google has caught up to Sonic by almost 7 tenths in the last of the gap. Was Google gets a
It's a
3 second
silly
time
fair.
penalty? That's a real shame. But Google, meanwhile, will still probably go on that move. Let's see what he does. As behind, Arjun and Manan are battling, and is Google close enough to make a move? I'm not sure. We are on board with Arjun Ashraf is making a move on Ishan, was it? And Manan has pitted. Is he going on a set of shots? He is. So 7 laps to go, Shah. And I think the only thing which is going on in Caesar's mind right now is no
There
safety
shouldn't be a
car.
safety car.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. And Kanav has overtaken Big Booties for P11. So that's the Ferrari in front of the Haas. And he is behind Google right now on a similar strategy. Not sure if that will happen. I'm not sure why Caesar is saying पहली फुर्सत में निकल, because I think we have been praising him a lot this in this race as opposed to what we usually do in other races. So that is uncalled for, and he will have to hear it from me in the podium interviews. But Google is on the back of Sonic again and doesn't have a lot of battery to play with. Let's see if it works out. Sonic makes a late move to defend the inside. Oh, come on.
And there's a safety car. Oh my god. It's the most horrible thing.
That is exactly what Caesar did not want. And
Shit, that was
oh
horrible.
my god. PSA Legends is
Now
spitting.
this is gonna change everything.
And wow, Shah, without looking at the comments,
Nishan got a drive through in all of this.
I don't care about that. Without looking at the comments, please tell me who would have been the
Oh
person.
my god. I just saw the comments. It's Noah, the most happiest person right now. He would be so happy right now. Probably. Oh
Sorry about the I don't care comment, but that was something which was needed. As far as Noah was concerned, Arjun has left the session after retiring in the pits. But this safety car, Shah, this is just heartbreaking.
And they won't have a lot of laps to race.
They would
So
have
literally
maybe.
pulling out, literally pulling out the amount of time he had pulled out is impossible right now. Like pulling out 5 seconds is gonna be a big, heavy task.
Yeah, it's
And from drivers such as Ashwin, Vifix, and Racing Go, I don't know.
it's going to be a tough ask for Caesar. Anything can still happen. I think we will have 2 or 3 laps of racing, at least 3 laps of racing. If not, but VFX and Racing Gupta both pit. So VFX is going on those soft tires, I'm sure, and he has enough gap to come out in front. So VFX, is Nishan going to overtake VFX here?
Nishan has got this drive through, so he'll have to go to the pits
They
again.
would have seen that Nishan
So,
has
yeah.
a drive through. But do they want to get involved with it? Oh, but both of them do come out ahead of Nishan. So smart
This is
thinking.
all head down for Vifix.
Smart thinking from both of them, and VFX can also probably go for a fastest lap here. So can Racing Gupta, because I don't think the Williams can pit now. Maybe they can pit now, but a double stack definitely won't work, and Caesar won't be pitting. So will Ashwin won't pit either. I think there are a couple of laps car in the way as well, but this is something completely unexpected. What caused the safety car, Shah? Because I don't.
I think it was SFR Sonic and
Yeah, I
another
saw
driver
Sonic and
backing out.
Google. I saw Sonic and Google crashing, and I don't know how Sonic did not DNF out of that, because that was a pretty heavy shunt. But none of them DNF'd, and they carried on with a lot of damage, but they carried on. So I am not entirely sure what caused the safety car here. Is Ashwin pitting? No, he's not. There's one car into the pits. I'm not sure who that was. Is Arjun S. Ravi? No, it's Sonic into the pits. Why is Sonic pitting again?
Maybe the damage.
But Sonic is pitting again. I think he would have pit after that. But yeah, Nova is claiming Shah that he was actually supporting Caesar in this
I
race on his
I don't
stream.
believe it. I don't believe him.
And for people who are familiar with Nova and the equation which Nova and Caesar share, I find that a little hard to believe. But either ways, we have still 3 laps to go, or rather 4 laps to go. But I don't know if the safety car will be coming in at the end of this
All
lap.
this happened just when Nova entered the chat. So there's only Nova to blame.
Yeah,
As
he did
commentators,
right. He did right.
don't curse anyone. Yep.
Yeah, he did write safety car please and then laughed out
That's
loud about it. So
like we say, whatever Nova does, whatever Nova wants, he just says it and he gets it. He doesn't. He doesn't just.
Yeah, finish that thought, sir. You have started a sentence, you have to finish it. Anyways, so Nova, we'll have to wait for Caesar's stream and the comments on that stream to see if Nova is actually telling the truth. But as it stands, Caesar will not finish on the podium. He is not going to win the race, but he might still finish on the podium because there are time penalties to Racing Gupta and Nishan. And PSI Legends as well. I'm not entirely sure where PSI Legends would pit. I really don't know. It's going to be 1 or 2 laps here. And I understand why VFix pitted, but I don't understand why PSI pitted because he has a time penalty, so he has to favor track position right now. And Teves has the confirmation for us. Nishan has a drive-through. Oh, Nishan has a drive-through, so he will not. I don't think he'll finish in the points. That's a real shame. But Teves has confirmed that Nova was actually supporting Caesar on his stream. But we all know how that works. That's probably just reverse psychology and at work. But either ways, 33 out of 33 laps done, or we are on lap 33 right now. I think the safety car will be coming in at the end of this lap. Shah, everyone from Arjun Esravi has been lapped. So oh, what's happening? What's happening with? Oh, yeah, it's sorted now. So P10 to P17 have been lapped so far, and I'm sure let's ride on board with a few people. Yeah, I see a lot of lap cars here. So that there are 2 lap cars between Ashwin and Caesar.
There's still a lot of gap for Prefix to cover on.
Yeah, and there are 2. Yeah, so basically there are 4 lap cars in total between VFix and Caesar. 2 between VFix and Ashwin and 2 between Ashwin and Caesar. Racing Gupta has no lap cars ahead of him. He has VFX. Nishan has a lap car instead Venkatesh. So this is going to be a very, very hectic race start. The safety car is coming in at the end of this lap. We have the confirmation. So we hope for a good and clean safety car restart. We would really want to avoid any further incidents. Caesar is weaving. He's getting temperatures into his tire. But this is going to be a little tough for him. He has probably already gone and would be hoping to make that advantage count. Caesar has gone, so has Ashwin and the rest of the guys, but they have to make way for a very, very fast charging Ferrari as well as Racing Point. Caesar's advantage is already 2.5 seconds, and if he wins from here, despite the time penalties, PSI, Vicky both get time penalties, and Vicky meanwhile is... Where is Vicky? He's P8 right now, and this is going to be tough for the McLarens as Phantom has gotten ahead of Vicky as well as Nishan. So Nishan losing further positions, and it's not really helping him out right now because he has to pit, or rather go into the pits.
But this puts Phantom in a really good position.
It does, because Phantom has no penalty, so expect a really good finish for and points finish for Phantom in the Alfa Romeo, which is a full-time seat for him now as Sonic Hawk has moved to reserve. But what's happening up front? It is VFix who has caught up to Ashwin Shah. Ashwin almost, that was pretty close between VFX and Ashwin. And as
so I think we'll have the last lap on the DRS will be enabled.
DRS will be enabled on the last lap. So until then, does VFix wait or does he go for a move? Caesar's advantage right now is not enough, and he might just move out on the lap. Is VFX going for a move on Ashwin?
Wow.
They almost touch, but they keep it within themselves. But then Racing Gupta all
Quite
of a
hard
sudden
race.
is just behind them. VFX has the inside line, so he might still get in front, and he does. So right now, as it stands, VFX making good use. Oh, that's Ashwin! What's happening to Ashwin? And he almost loses his. I'm really shouting right now. It's Ashwin. He almost lost the car that, but he keeps it in one piece, and Racing Gupta is at the back of him. This is going to be a really close finish. Ashwin does not have time penalty, so he will definitely finish on the podium if he is able to. And who's that? That's Sid Venkatesh trying to unlap himself and getting in the way of these drivers, as Racing Gupta will have DRS on Ashwin on this lap. Let's see if Racing Gupta can make an overtake done. As further up, the gap is 3.2 seconds,
3.2
and we are
seconds.
already on the last lap, Shah. So VFX,
It's
after
full of
all
five
this
tenths
while,
on this lap.
and he might also go for a fastest lap as Ashwin and Racing Gupta touch again. Sid Venkatesh again trying to unlap himself, but the gap is 2.6 seconds. It is scenario 7 for VFX, and just a few corners to go. And as it stands, it is going to be the Ferrari on the top step of the podium. What's happening behind? Phantom on a charge, but he will not get the positions. He will definitely get positions at the checkered flag. As let's see, where is Caesar? He is going to finish the race in first position on track, but because of a late safety car and the 5-second time penalty, it will be Caesar crossing the line first. It will be VFX who has run a race, Shah.
And he's also got the fastest lap.
He has also got the fastest lap, and that is a race win for VFX after
What did you
100
do,
and
Vifix? What did you do? Oh my god, he got the race win finally.
finally, and
Finally, I think
Phantom
after what, 5-6 months.
and Phantom in P4. So it is 5 months and a few days, to be precise. 161 days ago, VFX won in Brazil in season 2. That was 26th of December 2020. And PSI Legends is the driver of the year according to the game. But
So anyone
Phantom,
watching being confused, Caesar still won on the track, but he had a 5-second penalty from the last race, which got carried on now. So it'll be added to his time later, so that'll put him behind. Just to make clear if anybody's
it
confused.
still
with that
shows
part.
Caesar who has won the race over here, but VFX has won the race. Caesar will finish P2, Ashwin Lakhwani in P3, Phantom finishing P4, Racing Gupta P5, Arjun S. Ravi had an eventful race in P6, Vicky in P7, PSI Legends P8, Nishan had an eventful race as well in P9. Very impressive with no penalties for Nishan. Kanav, the other Ferrari, finishing in P10. And those were the only people who were not lapped according to the game. Google in P11, Ishan in P12. Those are your points finishers. Big Booty, I think that was his first race for the Indian Racing League in P13. Sid Venkatesh in P14. Manan in P15. Sonic Hawk had a huge accident which actually caused a safety car in P16. Shadow Sword in P17. Arjun Arun Shah and Tanish Vikiran were the only non-finishers of the race. We will wait for the podium getters to get into the party and have a chat with us. And Shah, interestingly, Ashwin actually finished just 6 tenths behind Caesar after the 5-second penalty is applied. So if Caesar wasn't more careful, and I think his restart was really smart. I think he went early, which caught some guys napping, and because of lapped cars, he was able to get more than 2-second advantage right at the start. But had he not been careful, he would have lost that P2 as well, and that would have made more points deficit. But as things stands, Caesar and VFX, the gap is ever closing.
VFX, what did you do, VFX? What did you do?
Can you hear us, VFX? Can you hear us? I don't think, not yet. But we'll wait for Caesar and Ashwin to join us. Is Ashwin and Caesar joining? Let me just check. Have you invited them to the party, I hope?
Yep, I've invited the other two as well.
Yeah,
VFX, are you online. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, we'll
Right.
come to you last, VFix. Let's see if Ashwin and so Caesar is here.
Hey, Caesar.
Yeah,
Hello,
Ashwin
Shah.
is here as well. So, Shah,
Right.
this time, why don't you lead the podium interviews?
So we start with Caesar.
Why?
You won on the track, like we know, but with the 5 second penalty which will be applied to your race time, you'll finish P3
P2,
behind
P2,
Ashwin and
P2.
P2. Okay,
Yeah,
P2.
P2.
Behind, so Ashwin is P3, and then we have to fix the race winner. But still, I would like to start with Caesar, even if he's P2, because he's had interesting race. So you had a great start. You were just pulling out time. So uh, you controlled the pace. You eventually managed to pull out 11 seconds on the guys behind you. So me and the other commentator Mara was just discussing how great Caesar is. Like he's pulled out 11 seconds, and then we were just wishing we don't have a safety car, and that's when there was a safety car.
I heard Mala was planning to give me another 5 seconds, just like that.
That is so true because we always believe that Caesar can pull out as much as time possible. So, and then eventually
Apparently
there was
not.
so please take us to your race.
Yeah, I mean, the race was pretty good. Like you said, I was managing the pace, and I was indeed trying to manage the pace, trying to keep those mediums running for as long as possible. Obviously, did not hoped or expected the safety car to come in that late. But it did. I think Sonic and Google crashed, so yeah, that caused it. And obviously, I was hoping that there was no safety car throughout the race, but it came at the wrong time for myself. And but yeah, I think P2 is still a decent result. But yes, P1 was in the back, so what can you do? But good thing it's a double podium for the Williams. But yeah, well done to VFix, the first non-Williams driver to win this season. So congratulations to him as well.
Thank you, Caesar. Congratulations. Malav, do you want to ask anything to Caesar?
Yeah, I want to ask particularly about the safety car restart because Caesar, I'm sure you would have noticed that there were lap cars, a lot of lap cars between you and Ashwin, and then between Ashwin and VFix. So, and you already had a 2 second gap. So, was that something which you had planned in terms of restart that you would want to go early so that you can, probably catch these guys by surprise and try to pull up as big as a gap as you can before the checkered flag?
Yes, the plan was exactly that, and the plan was not exactly the plan, but yeah, Ashwin and myself in the party, so it was planned that he'll hold up VFix for as long as possible. Obviously, team strategy was into play, but yeah, it was quite a known fact that once he's through, he will be able to at least maintain that gap of under 5 seconds. So yeah, he tried. Unlucky that he lost out to P2 and ended up being P3. But yeah, I think overall it has been good. It was a good weekend for both of us up until that safety car. It could have been 1-2, ended up being 2-3 for us, and I think that brings VFix a bit closer to the championship standings to me. So yeah, I think it should, takes us to an interesting end season with 3 races to go.
Yeah, with 3 races to go, I think the gap will be 7 or 8 points. We will debate about the maths in the Discord. But moving on to Ashwin, Shah, you can take over.
Congratulations, Ashwin, for finishing P3.
Yeah, thanks,
You
guys.
started P2
Yeah.
on the grid, and then eventually with that safety car, I think both the Williams cars were in trouble. Because then they fixed pitting on much softer tires and much fresher tires, I'd like to say, and then getting his overtake done. I think you were busy throughout the race because you had Vifix behind you, and then later you had Racing Gupta behind you, so you were always busy. You didn't have that time to pull away, or you didn't have that fresh air ahead of you to, put in some good laps.
I mean, pretty disappointing race from start to finish. I don't know what really happened after quali. I felt quite nice in quali, And in fact, I saved a set of soft tires instead of going for a proper run because I thought P2 was a good enough position to start. But on high fuel, just struggled lap one, lost out to VFix and couldn't really challenge back. Used up all my ERS by lap three, and then decided that it'd be better to let racing go past and just build up some ERS, and that's what I did. And then I got him back. VFix was also slightly struggling on pace by then, so he was within range of an undercut. But Caesar's tires were quite worn, and we decided I'd stay out longer. It was the right decision, and VFix got held up in the pits. But yeah, I just was not comfortable in this setup on high fuel for whatever reason, and no pace at the last safety car, which was very obviously unfortunate for Caesar and also for us as a team because I had P2 in the bag too. But for some reason, Jeff kept telling me, or whatever the MFT said, that I would come out in 6th position if I made a pit stop. And I was really contemplating going on the softs because I know how powerful it can be. But I don't know why that was, but VFix pitted. He was way behind me and came out still P3. So I'm not sure what happened exactly. But great decision by him, and ultimately just, yeah, mistake by me, a lot of mistakes and not much pace.
Right, Ashwin. Malvi, you want to ask something?
Yeah, Ashwin, and this is something which I will probably ask VFix as well later on. But has the pace of Racing Gupta surprised you? Because it seems like he was able to stay behind both of you for quite a long and actually give you some headache going into the final laps of both the stints, rather, not just one. So Ashwin, I think it was some bit of race management for you where you decided to let him pass and then overtook him just before the pit stop went off. Yeah, so
Yes.
that was something which we did notice. But apart from that, do you think he is a genuine contender for podiums this season?
Of course. He's he was right behind me for like 4 laps in Hungary, I think, when again I was struggling in a similar manner, and that was a headache for me. I don't know how I held on, but yeah, he's a regular. He has great pace. In fact, that's why I even thought of letting him by, because I knew at that point he was way quicker than I was, and he would help pull me towards VFix, and that is kind of what happened. And yeah, I mean, he's been doing great so far, and yeah, it's good to have him this season.
Right. Congratulations once again, Ashwin. Always good to have you on the podium along with Caesar and Vifix, and I think this is going to be a regularity going forward in the last 3 races of the season. But coming to VFX, it's been 161 days. I've been counting this every weekend when we get to race. And how does it feel winning a race after 5 months? Your 6th race win in the league across different seasons we have had. I think you have participated in 3 of them. And this is really important because had Caesar won that, and he was on course to win that because the gap was more than 10 seconds. You finally have the top step of the podium, and the championship gap is less than 10 points for sure.
Yeah, man. I mean, what is there to be said that has to be said? I mean, did not expect to win that one because I really messed up on my first pit stop. Got caught checking the race director at the wrong time. The pit didn't release me even though I completed the pit lane mini game, and so I had to do that again. That cost me around 6-7 seconds, and at that point I was like, man, this is done. But as I said, like, because Caesar had that 5-second penalty, if for some reason there was a late safety car, that was gonna pretty much make sure that the entire race, whatever had happened, didn't really matter. And to be honest, I did expect Ashwin to pit because the gap between me and for 5th place, which was Nishan, was like 17 seconds, which is more than enough to make a pit stop in safety car conditions. But luckily he didn't pit and got this one. I am just lost for words. I feel bad for Caesar, but then again, I've been in that situation so many times in this 161-day run. So, I mean, and it has benefited him a lot on many occasions. My bad luck. So, once, I guess, roles reversal. And yeah, I mean, it's been so long. I just am a bit lost for words, to be honest. But yeah, this was a great one. Shout out Shah 2224. He believed in me. from the start.
Yeah, he
Of
did.
this
He
one.
absolutely did, and he basically put the pressure on you to win this one. But I would just want you to talk about that overtake on Ashwin on one of the last laps. I think it was the second last lap where you made that move. How important do you think it was? Because Caesar was not. I mean, he was running away with it. He was in clean air, and he was definitely pulling up a gap. But at the same time, do you think it could have been more than 5 seconds at any point, or do you think that because you were on faster tires, you just had to go for it?
No, after the safety car, I knew it was between me and Ashwin because there's no way you can make even Caesar with his incredible pace. Like you'd have to be like 2 seconds faster on like 18 lap old medium tires versus my fresh softs. There's no way he was making it up. I knew once I overtook Ashwin, I had done it, but the only challenge then was to not get a penalty because I had two warnings leading up to that in the last lap and a half ish of that race after overtaking him. That was the challenge. But yeah, kudos to Ashwin. He kept it fair. Yeah, respectable as he always does. I mean, he could have easily taken me out there and helped the TH teammate, but yeah, kudos to Ashwin. And once again, GG's to Caesar. I mean, I think that probably without the safety car, he would have won that. But yeah, it's what happens at the end that counts, not what happened at the beginning or the middle. So I'll take this.
Right. So, anything from you before we close?
Congratulations, Vifix. Yeah, it was the pit stop that I wanted to ask, like what went wrong, and then you eventually told me you got busy with the MFD settings, because that was really crucial, because both Racing Gupta and Ashwin jumped on you, and we wondered what happened. Was it your outlap that messed it up or whatever? But then the second pit stop came very handy. With the new tires, you made a move, like you were on charge. So good job. So I think overall a good day for Ferrari everywhere. And I think this also makes you the youngest winner this season. If that makes you any happy. Anyways, congratulations guys. Good job.
Shah, he might be the youngest race winner ever in the history of the Indian Racing League when he first won the race in season 2. But with that being said, congratulations once again. I think Caesar has probably left the party, but congratulations to him, to Ashwin, and to you, VFX, for everyone watching. Thank you for tuning in. As you know, the championship gap is, at least for the drivers' standings, is now less than 10 points, and with 3 races to go, it is really going to be very, very close in the final 3 rounds of the season. Constructors, Williams definitely have an upper hand, so we'll have to wait and watch when and if they clinch the Constructors title. But this is your host. You can beat me along with Shah in the comments box. I hope you like this coverage. Please leave a like if you do, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't so far. Hope you have a good rest of the weekend. Take care and goodbye.
Thank you guys.
Well wishers and donators, please give money to Shard2224 for his belief in me.
And Nishan, Vifix, we still haven't stopped the stream yet. Do you want to give a shout out to Noah for his PS Plus subscription? I think that's what you usually do.
Yes, that's Noah's PS Plus subscription, which has to be paid for. I'm keeping an eye out for you.
So if you guys aren't aware, no.
Right, I'm stopping the stream, by the way.